Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. A lot of times, what happens is that in life, we set the bar really high. We set our goals, we have our dreams in place. And ever since we are small, we are always told not to dream big. There are very few parents, there are very few teachers or your elders who will actually encourage you to have those big dreams. You know, a lot of times, most of the times, you are always discouraged or made fun of. And what this really does is it conditions you in a way to fit into a certain box, fit into a, a certain norm, as they say. And that is not always true. Once you start believing in yourself, and when you start protecting your own dream and start working towards it, that is when things will actually change. But for that, you need to have that immense belief in yourself, and you need to be able to protect that dream of yours from everybody. One thing that I've realized and experienced, and I've honestly felt, is that no one respects potential, and no one really cares about the potential that you might have, the potential of a dream, the potential of a person, the potential of an idea, right? So like it is said, the burden of proof is always on the person who has that idea, who's advocating that dream, or who wants to achieve that one thing that they might have, you know, dreamt of. So the burden of achieving that is on you and you alone. To protect that belief is on you and you alone. To keep yourself conditioned, you know, most of the time, and from the attacks from outside is on you. The onus is always on you to be able to protect yourself, protect your dream, and build that inner confidence and build that thick skin, as you might say. A lot of times, what happens is that sensitive people, they really take everything seriously what is being said at them. Someone might say anything casually to them, which they might really be caring about, and that person might have just said it casually, and then you kind of go into that deeper hole, and you just keep on thinking and thinking and overthinking about it, and somewhere your confidence shakes, and a lot of times we do get frustrated as well. And a lot of us might, what we might do is we might give up on that dream, and yeah, I'm done with this dream, and I just don't want to take this forward anymore. But ultimately, the loss is our own, right? And we need to understand that if we have had a dream, like I had read it somewhere, and I had actually seen a video somewhere, that if you are getting an idea, the very synapses that is firing in your head, the reason that idea has come to you is there is a deeper reason, right? It is coming from Almighty, it is coming from God, to you and you alone, right? God has given that dream to you. It is your duty to work on it, or to just give up. That the choice is yours, right? It is not someone else, right? Otherwise the dream might have been distributed to everybody else, right? Someone else might have their own dreams, their own goals, their own targets in life, but you and you alone have got that particular dream. A lot of times, what also happens is that the goals and the dreams are so big that we feel overwhelmed, and taking that one step, the first step, is extremely difficult, and we are so overwhelmed, and like I said, there is no backing. The family themselves are, you know, kind of discouraging you, and the families usually are amazing at discouraging people. So, what I feel is, you know, there might be families, of course, who are supportive, but then families, by their very nature, they want to protect you so much that they don't want you to fall into a pit, and hence they will try to protect you from everything. But what they unknowingly do is they discourage you from the very, you know, your very purpose in life. So that is also extremely important to understand. At times the love and the care of the family gets in your way, gets in the way of your progress, and you might have been, you know, something big, but because of that protection and because of that care and being pampered so much, you kind of just lose the track and lose the plot, and a lot of us don't even start that journey because, you know, because of someone discouraging you. So that also needs to be kept in mind, that you know, we need to really um, understand our own potential, work on the potential. It could be the smallest of steps that you might take, but then you need to keep moving. You need to keep believing, you know, whenever you feel discouraged, whenever you want to talk to someone, talk to that confidant of yours, you know, if not from the family, someone who supports you, someone who's a friend of yours. You know, you need to just bounce back and come back and keep taking those actions. The smallest of actions also count, right? But then, like it's said, right? If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But keep moving. So we need to keep moving. We need to keep going, and you know, don't let the world tell you that you are not enough, because in my personal experience, I have been told a lot of times that, in the slightest of ways, in the slightest of hints, even today, right, that I might not be enough for XYZ, right? Probably in the past as well, I might not be enough. Z, you might not be enough for XYZ. And then you go out, work, slog, prove the person wrong. But again, the second time, again, that person is going to say, okay, you achieved this, but then for the next big thing, I don't think so you're enough. And then you do that, and the next big thing, again, you are not enough. So you have to keep believing, because the world is going to keep doing its job, right? There might be some confidants of yours, some well wishers of yours who might, you know, wish good about you and want you to reach newer heights, and you know, reach the upper echelons in life. But then a lot of times it's not going to happen, and that is what the journey is all about. Had it been easy, had everybody been rooting for you, and had everybody been vouching for you, there's no fun in that, right? The whole idea is that it's difficult to achieve, and that is the whole beauty of doing something that is difficult. You know, there people who do not believe in you proving them wrong. That is the whole fun about life, as you can say. So this is the video for today. I'll leave you guys with that thought. This is First Principles. My name is Zaid, and thank you for tuning in.